Mike, first year up, Premier Intermediate, 2 wins from 2, job done so far.
Yeah, it's a good start, Jerome. We're where we're on to be at the moment. We'll be sitting top of the table after this, but it's all to play from the other side of the draw. It just basically means we can't finish bottom of the group, so we're under no illusions. We have a lot of work still to do. We've rough next week, tough game again. They have a lot of good players, so it's a win. It's 2 points. Move on again and train hard this week.
It's the very nature of the Premier Intermediate. These games just go down to the wire, round after round.
Yeah, it seems to be the best championship in Limerick, to be honest. Our first year up, we probably would have rathered the group of 8 get the 7 games. Your first year up, when you lose one, if you lose the first game, it could take you a bit to settle in. You're under pressure straight away, but we stuck it out last week in Stetlaka. It took a small bit of pressure off us in terms of not finishing bottom of the group. We got off the foot of the table and we just kicked on this week. Look, it was tough there again, right down to the wire. We know plenty know that you're never going to run away with the game, or 5 points up with 2 minutes to go, you still have to be looking over your shoulder with these lads. So I fully envisage that if we do go through, we could end up meeting these boys again later on the year.
I just heard someone reference it coming off the field there, but I suppose the options you have, you use 20-21 players again today. There's huge competition across that squad, and it's evident.
There is. Look, we played these lads 2 years ago in the county final, and look, we know ourselves we weren't good enough on the day. It was a good learning curve for us. We recovered from that last year, but our lads from 2 years ago are obviously that bit older, that bit wiser. We had a couple of county minors coming to the panel this year. There's a couple more of them on the line that haven't been used, and it's great. It's great to see fresh faces coming in. We were kind of loitering around the intermediate championship for ages, flirting with relegation and not qualifying out of the group, and there was kind of a big clear out of players from the late noughties right through the mid-10s, and it's kind of coming in now. There's a lot of work being done on underage in hurling in Newcastle. People would kind of associate us with being only a football club, but there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Likes of Tom Ryan and Derry McMahon, and these lads are putting huge effort in underage, and it's bearing fruit now. They threw our minors into the Premier Championship I think 2 years ago. Our under 16s won the Premier under 16 last year, so these are all lads that are mad for hurling, with Limerick winning them as well. There's lads walking around the town with hurleys morning, noon and night, which you wouldn't have seen a few years ago, so it's great. It's a knock-on effect from Limerick winning to our underage winning, and it's injecting life into our intermediate panel again as well. So there's a few older lads hanging around. We'd like to hang around for another bit, I suppose, but the young lads are definitely pushing us for places now, and if you walked into training any night above, you think we weren't friends at all, you know, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it should be. Like.
You can see as well, this is year 3 kind of Willie and we'll say Paul O'Grady, and you can see the work and the coaching that's going into this side as well.
Yeah, Paul came in a few years ago, and to be honest, he's an excellent coach. Willie is a great organiser, very passionate about the game. He was playing in 2001 player selector when we won the Junior A, and look, he went away for a few years and he's back again now. But as I said, Paul came in 3 years ago, and I think all Paul needed was numbers at the field, and we were kind of mostly playing football 3 years ago. A lot of lads weren't playing hurling, but these young lads that are coming through again now, with 25, 26, 27 players at the field every night that can hurl, and it makes a massive difference when you can just turn up to the field and pick 2 teams and train a ball if you want to. You know, it's not all just drills and small games, but there's that element to it as well. But when you have the numbers, you have way more options. You can do way more at the field, and look, when you have a good coach like that with numbers, he knows what he's at.